I used to think the GameCube had the best library of games Nintendo had to offer. Then I thought, okay, maybe the Wii takes the cake there. But then, surprisingly enough, I believe one could make the case for the Wii U's library being up there too. And now we're nearing the end of the Switch's life cycle, and once again I think maybe it can be the winner of having the best game library of any Nintendo console. I just love the fact that Nintendo is so consistent with the quality of the games they release on every one of their consoles that it makes it hard to say which one really has the best library. This leads me, obviously, to question what the Switch 2's library will be like. I don't think it will take much for the Switch 2 to also be neck and neck with prior consoles when it comes to what games it will release. It's just that Nintendo IPs are just so amazing, for lack of a better word. For example, here are some of the possible games that can release on the Switch 2. A new Mario Kart, a new Smash Bros, a new 3D Mario game, a new 3D Zelda game, a new Animal Crossing, a new 2D or 3D Metroid, a new Splatoon, a new Pikmin, a new Bayonetta, the list goes on. Now here's what puts Nintendo in a winning position with the Switch 2 and its potential library. If they even give us just half of the games I listed, then the Switch 2's library is basically God tier. We haven't gotten the completely new ground up Mario Kart since the Wii U, and we're due for a complete Smash reboot. We're also definitely getting a new 3D Mario game since Nintendo would need to be on some kind of drugs to not give us that. So that basically gives us 3 surefire mega hits releasing on the Switch 2. And now you may be asking yourselves, okay, what about the other games releasing on a new console? We can't just have those 3, right? Well, to that I say, we might get the rest of the games on the list I mentioned. Okay, hear me out. That may sound crazy, but Nintendo really doesn't have that many recognizable IPs in my opinion to choose from, and that's a good thing. The fact that I struggle to think of other Nintendo franchises just makes me wonder if Nintendo is just gonna milk the ones the general public is already well familiar with. We might also get a new Paper Mario game that's similar to the Thousand Year Door in terms of gameplay, because the remake did pretty well critically I think, or a new Mario and Luigi game if Brothership does well on the Switch, which I think it will, mark my words. Okay, fine, I've listed so many franchises already, and I just want to say I don't think we're getting new installments in all of them. Sure, I'm crazy, but not that crazy. But I do think we will get new installments in at least 70 to 80% of them. And then maybe the other 20% are games that I haven't mentioned. Big surprises maybe, such as a new Donkey Kong game perhaps, which in itself is just as exciting as a new 3D Mario game, especially if the new Donkey Kong is in 3D. Oh, and I almost forgot, another reason I think the Switch 2 will have a god tier library is the fact that we already got so many HD remasters, re-releases, and remakes on the Switch of previous games, so that makes me think we'll see less of them on the Switch 2. I'm not complaining about getting these Switch remakes by the way, I'm glad we got them. I'm just saying I'm excited that Nintendo is kind of forced to come up with new ideas for new releases and won't be able to rely on just re-releasing a bunch of games on the Switch 2. Now if I was making this video a couple or so years ago, I would probably drop my predictions here, probably say which games have a bigger chance of appearing on the Switch 2 compared to others, and I know I already mentioned a couple I think will for sure release on the next console, but the truth is, nothing is guaranteed with Nintendo. A game that sells 30 million copies or more, such as the Animal Crossing New Horizons, might take longer to get a follow-up than a game that sells only a fraction of that, say around 3 million copies, like Pikmin 4. So it's cool to know that Tamagotchi Life has the same possibility of being on the Switch 2 as the next 3D Mario game. Okay, I'm sorry for playing with your feelings, Tamagotchi fans. I also want to point my finger at something Shigeru Miyamoto said recently, and that was that he believes Nintendo will be doing very well as a company if they have at least one game that sells 30 million copies released every 3 to 5 years. Putting the Pokemon games off to the side, the only games that have that potential to sell over 30 million copies at this moment are your mainline 3D Zelda and Mario's, and your massive family games like Mario Kart and Smash. So it's exciting to hear Miyamoto basically confirm we'll be getting one of these big games every 3 to 5 years. Given the average lifespan of their consoles, this means we can potentially get 3 big 30 million copy selling games for the Switch 2. Alright, that's enough yapping from me. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think the Switch 2 will deliver when it comes to the games? Which games would make this console a must buy for you? And also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I like to post Nintendo content whenever I can, so if you're interested in that, then stick around. Thanks for watching.